of Iron. I'm John Anderson. Meet my co-hosts, Nick Best and Akeem Williams. We're going to have some amazing guests on the show. Buckle up tight, because we're going to be talking about the shit you're not supposed to be talking about. We're going to be discussing anything and everything it takes to become a Legend of Iron.
Legends of Iron is brought to you by Muscle Mints. Muscle Mints is the creator of Carnivore Pure Beef Protein Icing. Beef builds muscle, and Carnivore is the world's #1 selling beef protein.
Physically, yes. Mentally, no.
Let's have some fun. All right, welcome to another edition of Legends of Iron. I'm John Anderson. With me, always my partners in crime, Nick Best, who's still a little under the weather, but he is here. And Akeem Williams, who's in the middle of prep, so he's here as well. But my two co-hosts are not running full steam, but it's okay because we've got an amazing guest for you today here. You see two of them on the screen. Obviously, you've seen Mr. Jerry Pritchett on a show that we just actually released, but more importantly, we have his son, Bubba Pritchett, who is 11 years old and just won the national championship. He actually put a whooping on a 16-year-old to win the title. I got to tell you, brother, this is exciting stuff, man. I got to tell you, I'm excited. I'm just as excited for this show as I was your dad. How's that feel, brother? You're kicking butt already, you know?
Yeah.
Right on. So, well, I'm just going to let's talk to you and ask a few questions. First off, I just got to say, how does it feel to be a national champion at 11 years old when you were beating up on other competitors that could actually drive? How does that feel?
Oh, that's awesome.
It is. It's totally awesome.
It feels good, but also I did put like a huge target on my back for other shows that I do. Because are just going to be like, I'm not going to let that 11-year-old beat me. So.
Yeah, very true. Is there a way we could get you guys to scoot a little closer to the camera just so we can hear you? Because your answers are amazing, and we want to make sure everybody can hear them. So, yeah, I would agree with you, brother. I mean, being 11 years old and winning the national championship, and obviously you're not even a teen yet. You definitely you're on the map. There's no question about that. But the good thing is, look at your dad. Your dad can help you all this stuff. He's been on the map most of his career, you know. So first off, congratulations, bro. I can only imagine how that must feel. I remember when I was 11 years old and I was having a hard time competing with the kids my age, let alone, you know, beating up on the older kids. So really cool, brother. Really cool. You know, when your dad was on the show, we talked a little bit about you, and he was explaining how, you know, you're getting stronger pretty much with every workout. And your age, you're only 11. As you continue to go older, it's just going to get better and better. Your dad was sharing with us that you want to be the youngest world's strongest man in history. Is that correct?
Yep. At 17.
Oh, wow. Man, I love it. I love it. That's it. That's it. Well, you know, the cool thing about this, Bubba, is that you're not just talking about it. You're already doing it. You just won the national championship, you know? Yeah. Really, really cool. Well, why don't you start off telling us about what do you eat in a day? What's your diet look like? Because you got to be eating a lot to be the national champion.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, your dad says you eat a lot of steak, yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Steak your favorite food?
Yeah. So it's
Yeah, I like it. I like it. So talk to us about the competition. How many events was there? You know, I got kind of I heard, you know, Ricky LaRocca is one of he's a mutual friend of ours, so he kind of gave me some of the cool stuff that happened. But I want to hear you kind of talk to us. How did the show go? The first event, I think it was a log. Is that correct?
Yeah. So there was 5 events. Log was the first one. I had trained like the 13-14 weights because that's the class I went into, but I was going as a 16-year-old, so all the events I kind of trained were just out the window. And like the log was supposed to be 90, and it was like we figured like 115. And I did that for 6 reps. And
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
that was a big PR because I've only hit 3 in training at that.
Wow.
And he had hit 6 as well, so we tied on that. And then the next event was sandbag, right? Sandbag for max distance, and I beat him just by like what?
150-pound bag.
Yeah, it was a 150-pound bag, and I won that event. Then the next event was the Conan's wheel. It was what, 200
250.
or 250. They figured like 250 on that, and I won that, and then the car deadlift, right?
And then on those 2, because he went last, he didn't even go to failure. He just had to go to beat what
That's beautiful.
push himself to failure. Because
Yeah.
tough to win those 2. So he didn't really get a chance to see where he was at on those because, obviously you don't do any more than you have to win. And he just, won those really pretty easy. And then he had deadlift.
Yeah,
third event.
deadlift. We did a golf cart.
Yeah.
It was funny because we had what was it? They were supposed to be for the men. It was a car. What was it?
Yeah, I don't know, some kind of like Mazda sports car or something like that. And it was pretty heavy for team. I grabbed it's the heavy. I mean, the older teens did it, but there's no way the younger teens were going to do it.
And
Right.
then, so I tried that, and I was like, yeah, something's wrong about that. And then, so we did the golf cart. I ended up doing 24 reps.
Yeah.
He did 22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then we went on to the stones, and it was stone over the bar, 160, and I did 6 reps, tying him again. So we tied in log and stones in 6 reps each, both.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing, Bubba. How did your body feel after that?
I was definitely sore the next day.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And so your progression with this has been nothing short of amazing. And it's been fun to watch because, I follow you, I follow your dad too, and he puts the stuff up. And to see you go through these steps, it's utterly amazing. And it absolutely, you will have the potential of winning the whole ball of wax. It's just taking your time and getting there and putting the work in. And your dad already has a great work ethic installed, and you already have picked it up and run with it. So it's an absolute joy and pleasure to watch you do this, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, the most impressive to me, to the guys in the gym and everything, because everybody sits back and watches, a kid in any kind of youth sports, if your parents are pushing him.
Right.
Percent him. He gets guidance from me and Ricky and other guys in the gym, and in training and do the thing, all the lifts right, to train the right way. But it's on him to put in the work,
Right.
He gets support from me and his mom and everybody, but it's on him to put in the work, and it's him. He sets his own goals for himself. Also, his aspirations are all his own. It's nothing. Hey, you should do this. You should do that. It's all him. He finished that thing Saturday, Sunday. He goes, Dad, can we start looking for another one?
Wow. That's awesome.
It's all on him.
Wow.
I noticed
Go ahead,
he's very self-aware also.
Yeah.
The fact that once he won that competition, he had a target on his back. That shows that he's very aware.
Very.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he could possibly be 8, 9-time teenage national champion.
Yeah.
That's gonna put a target on your back.
That's
sure.
never been done before, I don't think, has it?
No.
Technically, I'm not even eligible to compete, but I did it anyway.
I love it.
So he's still got a while before he's even a teenager.
Yeah. He's 2 years. Yeah. So when you were World's Strongest Man this year, what did you think about being backstage and getting to go to all those places and see the guys warm up and see the inside of what the professionals do at that level? How cool is that for you?
It it's very cool because I'm basically like a fan because the last time I went to Worlds was I was 3. And
Right.
so I don't really remember it. And going to that, it was I'm basically just like a fan. And going to that was.
Yeah, must have been amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool, brother.
Sport and almost like he enjoys the history of the sport too. I mean, he can tell you past contests and what everybody's doing now as well. And he's kind of really on his own studied strongman. So not only is he's a competitor, but he is a fan and I don't know, a historian of the sport. He really loves the history of it as well.
I like it. So who's your favorite old school strongman, Bubba?
Wilson.
Who?
Odie Wilson.
Oh, there we go. Very nice.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a beast, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So what makes him your favorite?
Because he's the strongest man to never win World's Strongest Man.
Ah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, you probably can correct me if I'm wrong, but he should have won. And then they did kind of an event switch at the last event and made it like a running event, which then gave
John Paul.
tell the story. You tell the story, brother, please.
They had it was bricks on this little stand thing that you'd hold on your back and you'd go around this foot track. And John Paul, obviously, because he was quick, he went around it smoked it, right? But Odie Wilson, being a bigger guy, didn't move as fast, so he basically lost the competition off of that event. Yeah.
Yeah, the little sabotage in that, I think. What do you think? Was that sabotage?
Yeah, probably.
Well, that's really cool.
It was pretty crazy because John Paul had to win that event and OD had to get dead last, and that's exactly what happened. So, yeah. I remember I actually remember watching that.
Yeah.
On TV, when they actually did it. So I remember that one.
Yeah, that was, especially after pretty much every strength event in that,
Yeah.
So, Bubba, you're talking about looking for your next competition. What's the next in your horizon? What you have your next competition picked, or what's going on there?
Not yet. I think I'm probably going to work for one. There's one in October, but we don't know the events yet. Because the other ones are in August, and those weights are way above me right now. And August is very, very weights.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Where's the one in October?
What was it?
I remember. I know Ode has one in September. Yeah. Over
Doesn't have any weights
back
at all.
east somewhere. I don't remember where exactly that one was at. If it was Alabama or West Virginia one.
I think
so. You're basically a traveling man. You're not just looking. You're basically going where the action is now, huh? That's a big step. Let's go. 11 years old, man. He's a jet setter going to find the competitions that he can actually get into. I love it, brother. This is beautiful. This is exciting. I got to tell you, Bubba, we are going to follow your career, and we're going to have you come back on this show many, many times to help pump your career up, because if you're shooting to be the youngest world's strongest man, we want to support you any way we can, hands down. How's that sound to you?
Good. Thank
Good.
you.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So was this your first competition that you actually went into, or had you done other competitions prior to winning the national championship?
I did one. It was a Viking Cup. It was here locally. I took 4th out of 5 competitors, and they were all 16-year-olds. And I beat a 13-year-old, and I was 10, right?
That was over a year ago.
Yeah, so I was 10.
Wow.
So, at what age did you start lifting?
5. But 5 was basically just learning the technique, and then when I turned 6, that was mainly pushing weight and stuff after I learned the technique, basically.
Okay. So you hear that, guys? He learned the technique first.
Yeah, that's right.
A
All
lot
you
of,
listeners out there.
yes.
Yes.
He learned the technique first before he started lifting.
Well,
That's exactly right.
Somebody that put it the wrong way is almost impossible to correct that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides getting injured and all the other stuff that goes along with that, but just trying to correct it later is almost impossible. So that's always been. You're going to do it. You're going to do it the right way now. As you go up and you get bigger and stronger, that way you don't have to try to correct bad technique later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
6 powerlifting meets.
6 powerlifting meets.
Wow.
6 powerlifting meets. Okay, hold on. Let's rewind here. How old were you in your first one?
9.
Wow. Okay. And you've done 6. So 9 was the first one. But what was your first total?
I can't remember now. I do know that my deadlift there, and that was on a 4th attempt too, was 180.
Wow.
And then now I'm a 305.
Hold on.
Jerry, you better watch out.
Hold on. Let me make sure. Did you just say 305 like 305? 305.
Yeah.
That's insane, brother. That's insane.
At 11 years old.
Real quick, Bubba, you're the star of the show, so scoot over a little bit. You've got to get in the middle of the screen here. You're the star of the show, brother. Okay, so everybody listening, just their mouths just dropped when they heard you say 305. So let's talk about some of your other best lifts that you have right now. Holy smokes!
On Tuesday, I hit 135 log press.
You're kidding me. Holy smokes.
Wow.
Yeah. That was 10-pound PR.
Wow.
Yeah. Just compete.
Oh my God.
So do you know what your best total in powerlifting is in the latest meet, in the last one you did?
Last couple of push pull, so we haven't had a total in a while.
It was like a push-pull meet was my last one, and my last couple. So my yeah. I did a 303 deadlift in my last meet, but I did hitch it, so that one didn't count. And then I did 2, but the one that actually counted was 285, and then bench was 114.
Wow, brother. How much do you weigh right now? What's your body weight?
I weighed in at 195.
Oh my Lord. 11 years old, 195. Oh,
Jerry, you got a monster over there, man.
Bill knows it.
I know, man. He's a monster.
Oh,
wow. The best part is he already knows how to put people in their place too. He knows how to talk a little smack already. He was giving us a hard time at Worlds this year.
John,
it's
pretty
cute.
Listeners know that he's only 11 at 195.
195 pounds. This is insane. I mean, I'm sitting here. I mean, I've talked to your dad about you many times, brother. You know, when I see your dad, we don't say it too often, but every time we see each other, we always talk about you because last thing he said actually was on the show. He said that, basically you're just progressing so fast. You're just challenging yourself. You almost don't even worry about the weights because you just push yourself. And I thought that was really amazing that you're just interested in getting better and better. He said you picked up a yoke and took it for a run, and your dad asked you how much it was. And you said, I don't know. And then you calculate the weights and you realize, I think if it wasn't a PR, it was close to it. But I mean, where you are, brother, you're getting better literally probably about every week you train. It's got to be exciting.
Yeah.
Very cool. And what Nick was saying, talking a little smack, but I got to say, yes, you're talking the smack, but you're already backing it up.
Yeah.
So you're a national champion at 11 years old. It's a teen national championship. You're still 2 years away from being a teen, and you won. Brother, you can say whatever the hell you want to.
Yeah. I got a question for you. Now, at school and everything like that, what do your friends think about, how strong you are and everything like that? What kind of reaction do you get?
So, through kindergarten through 4th grade, I was like, yeah, I do strongman. My dad's a professional strongman. Everybody was like, no, not believing me at all. Then 5th grade, everybody started to get phones. They looked me up and then looked him up. They're like, oh, and then everybody wanted to be my best friend.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You probably the coolest kid in school, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna be, brother. You've already stepped into stardom at 11 years old. It's just gonna keep on going. You know, the good thing is you got your dad to kind of help you through some of the mess that all that attention can get you. You know, so. But the bottom line is, brother, you earned it. You worked for it. I mean, geez, like I said, 11 years old, and I'm still sitting here, kind of crapping in my pants in a good way, because I think when I was 11. And I think of where I was at 11 and what you just described, where you are at 11, it's like I was living on a different planet. You know, you are walking the walk, brother. I'm really excited. I got to tell you, to see somebody like yourself putting in the work. You've got the mentorship of your dad. When you say that you're going to win this thing at 17 years old, I'm believing you. I'm a believer, brother. I'm a believer. And I think you're going to be turning a lot of people into believers. You forgive me for saying this, but you're 11 years old. You're just kind of coming into that part of your life in the next year or two where you're really going to start to blossom as a young man. And when that happens, oh my God, it's going to be. Jerry, when did you go through puberty?
I don't know, probably 12, 13, somewhere in there.
So he's getting close. Once that happens with him, oh man.
What that's going to do. Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So are you going to get a second job so that you can feed him?
For one. How much can he eat at 15?
I mean, he's already 200 pounds, so he's probably going to be 250, 290 by the time he's that age if he keeps on at this rate. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I can easily see he'll be over 300 pounds, I would imagine. I mean, especially if he follows the height that you have, Jerry. He's going to be over 300 pounds before we know it.
Oh, yeah, and he's already much bigger than I was at that age. Just his bones, he's just thicker. He's a lot bigger than I was. So he's going to be a lot bigger than I am.
Wow.
Well, some of the studies that we know about bone density and how bone density develops so quickly under load, with him being under load at such a young age, his bone density has got to be off the charts.
Oh, I can't imagine if you did a bone density test for him to just a normal 11-year-old that hasn't ever touched. There was
yeah, that's not going to be close.
Yeah, going to be close.
Yeah, I mean, it's got not to mention bone density, tendon and ligament strength, all that stuff that continues to develop under load. I don't think that actually, we probably should ask this question of Bubba. Has there been anybody else on the planet ever in time that has started training strongman at your age? I think you got to be the first at that age.
I think so. Especially not strongman, maybe like a little bit like of machines and dumbbells, but not strongman. Also 3-pound dumbbells, but not like strongman.
Yeah. Wow. Absolutely amazing. So what grade are you in, brother?
I'm going into 6th. I'm on summer break right now.
Going into 6th. Holy Toledo. Holy Toledo. That's insane.
Wow.
So
man, that went fast.
Yeah. So obviously we know that you love to train. Is that what, like, do you play video games, or is it just kind of like you just train, or do you have other hobbies that you do? Or, I mean, a normal 11-year-old would probably come up with a whole bunch of stuff, but they're not putting in the time that you are with training. So do you do things do other things interest you outside of training?
YouTube. Definitely.
But you're probably watching stuff about strongman though, aren't you?
So who's your favorite YouTuber?
Besides me and my dad?
Yeah.
There you go.
Brian Shaw.
Nice.
Fair enough. Cool.
Do you have your own channel yet, Bubba?
No, just his.
I would imagine before too long, Jerry, you get him his own YouTube going. That thing will turn. I mean, every teenager, every not quite teenager on the planet is going to start watching him, wishing. Because if you think about it, we all look at shit on YouTube that inspires us.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you got some 11-year-old deadlifted 3+ I mean, you're going to have, can you imagine the type of subscribership he would have from kids his age?
Oh yeah. Well, and for, kids out there, it's been really, besides what he's doing competing and, he's amazing. He's a natural strongman, but for what the gym has done for him, for his confidence wise, because he's a big kid, and any of us know that we're big kids. School sucks, kids suck, and the crap they say. And what it's done for his confidence level and the way he carries himself, since he's been doing it this long is huge,
Yeah.
So any other, parents, kids, I mean, people will get a weird thing with kids in weight training, right? Oh, they're going to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Going to hurt growth plate. You got to break bones to affect growth plate. As long as you're doing it properly, they're not going to get hurt. And it's only going to, grow them physically, but mentally, way they carry themselves, self-esteem, everything. Like, you guys know as well anybody what the gym does for you that way. And that for him tenfold.
I was one of them. I mean, I was literally one of them. I just didn't have the opportunity to get it going at such a young age.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. I mean, the lifting weights changed my life. Completely changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think you definitely have got yourself a great foundation to. I mean, I can't see that Bubba, that you wouldn't make a great living as a strongman with your start right now, especially getting a social media established now that you're a national champion. I mean, this is really cool. I'm inspired just sitting here talking to you.
Yeah, and especially in the age that we live in right now, in terms of like your social media and just getting content. You just everything that you do, just make a recording of it. All your videos and stuff like that, because it's going to inspire. It's going to inspire a lot of people, and it's also going to get you that platform where you're going to end up making money from it.
And it'll also give you some answers to questions when people ask. Just be like, look, this wasn't a short-term process. I've been doing this many years. Yeah. And if you want, you can go to my channel and check this out. And you can see that how you're training and how you're pushing yourself, the drive's coming from you with the guidance of your dad and stuff like that. That's actually going to be really important for people to see in time. And people will learn a better way of spending their time and growing up and being healthy and training and doing what they want to do. It'll be a good example for people to follow.
Yeah, very true.
I so agree. So what do you have, in terms of 11 years old, when I was 11 years old, I had these ideas of what I wanted to do when I would grow up, but I wasn't a national champion of strongman when I was 11. So is strongman going to be your profession, or do you have other interests in terms of what you might do with your life?
If I get some career-ending injury and I can't compete in strongman anymore, I'd probably go to metal fabricating.
Okay. Well, you're in the right place for that. I know a good metal fabricator. I'm sitting right next to you, for that matter. It's coming down the family tree there.
That's awesome.
He's in the shop now. For the last several years, he's been in the shop. Learning how to use machines, and he'll always have a trade to fall back on.
So kind of like when you were on, Jerry, you were talking about when you were young, you were moving stuff around, carrying. Is he kind of the same way? He's got that same
thing.
Yeah. So that's the kind of strength that you don't develop in the gym. That's strongman strength right there, picking up stuff that doesn't have handles, and so he's got the training with you, and he's even got the training when he's in the shop. I mean, this is all the pieces of the puzzle are here. And from what I understand, when we were talking when you were on the show earlier, Jerry, with the amount he's eating, the amount of beef he's eating, the diet's in place. It's just a matter of time now. What's your favorite steak, Bubba?
Filet.
Oh,
goodness. He's living on the high end of the spectrum.
He likes the expensive stuff.
What about
I normally get, but if I get like a filet, that's kind of like a dessert.
Now that's a concept right there. I want dessert. Give me a filet. My ribeye was my main course. Give me my dessert. Do you like ribeyes, bro? That's my favorite steak, the ribeye. Do you like those too?
Not. I haven't tried one. You probably wouldn't like.
Yeah, he likes it pretty lean, so I don't know if he'll like the.
Okay. Already aware of eating lean steaks. That's even amazing in itself, right there. Yeah, tomahawk. That's one of my favorites too, Nick. You ever had a tomahawk before, Bubba?
No. The only steaks I've had is sirloin, filet, and a New York strip.
Okay.
There we go.
Those will do. Well, I'll tell you what, Bubba. I'll tell you what, Bubba. When you and your dad come up here to train sometime, we'll make you some tomahawks, and we'll also make you a prime rib. And you can see the difference between the two and which ones you like better.
Okay.
How's that?
I think he definitely would like the prime rib.
Yeah, prime rib is they're both amazing, especially on the Traeger grill. It's unreal.
I think if it's beef, he's gonna eat it. That's what I think.
That too.
So, how big of a steak do you like to eat? Do you know like the weight of the steak, or you just kind of eat till you're full?
Like 8 ounce or 9 ounce.
Wow, that's my serving.
Smart.
I've been eating an 8 ounce steak since I was like 6, and like.
I've been able to eat more than you since I was 6. John.
I love it. So, what's your favorite strongman event? What's your favorite event?
It used to be really easy, just deadlift, but since working with Ricky, it's either log or deadlift.
Nice.
His log press is a lot since working with Ricky. Ricky's really honed in on his log. His log's come up quite a bit. Like I say, he just hit that 135 the other day.
Yeah.
Because you were stuck about 100 pounds there for a bit.
Yeah.
Creeping up.
Right on. You know, Ricky was actually my training partner when I was competing in strongman. Ricky's probably one of the. I shouldn't say probably. Ricky is the toughest man I've ever met in my life. You know, he's a tough dude. You know, and when he tells you to do something, it makes it easier to do it, isn't it?
Yeah. Like if you look at this, so we went to go train with Shaw, and they were doing behind the neck press, and I was doing log. I could barely, it took me 3 tries to get 110. And I struggled with 100. And then the week after that, I started working with Ricky. And then now I'm at a 130 log press.
Nice. What was it some technique stuff that he switched around?
Yeah.
To help tell us what it was. Talk about the technique. This will be interesting stuff. What were you guys focusing on?
So on my clean. So I had this thing where I'd be up in the rack position, and I'd either be down low or I'd be higher, but my right side would be lower. And we worked with that, and we kind of came up with this technique of lifting the log up, basically deadlifting it, pushing my hips forward, and then coming down the lap. And that kind of had where the log was kind of off my knees and more on my hips and stuff. And that put a higher rack position and got my right side from lagging.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. I mean, as we all know, you can be really strong, but when the technique is coupled with your strength, then it gets scary, you know. And that's the thing with you. You're very strong, no question about that. But you've got the guidance and the technique from the best in the world. So this is, like I said, this is gonna be a lot of fun to watch. You move forward with your career, brother. I'm excited. Like I said, we're gonna keep having you back on and keep promoting you and help you be that youngest world's strongest man champion. I think that's a great goal. And I just love the fact that you're 11 and you're saying this is what's going to happen. That's beautiful.
So what is the youngest? Is it 22 or 21?
I think it's
22.
21 to go to Worlds.
To go, I think.
No. The winner. The winner.
22.
The youngest. 22. Yeah.
22 to win.
How old was Novikov? Because he was the second youngest.
He's 22.
22, 23, something like
Okay,
that.
I'm pretty sure. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was there was a handful. What was the youngest to get there? At one point, it was Whit Baskin. That was way back when. Is there somebody that was
Nee.
At
Still
19.
Youngest. I think he was like
Kevin
20.
Nee.
Oh.
who was?
Kevin Nee.
Kevin Nee.
Oh, Kevin. Yeah, that's how did I forget? Yeah, Whit Baskin was way before him. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right. Kevin. Yeah, he was much like yourself with the fact that a teen that was just crushing stuff, but he didn't get started when he was your age. Can you imagine
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all the years that you're going to be getting better and better, getting stronger? It's going to be insane to watch. Yeah. So how did 17 come to be the number that you said, that's the year I'm going to win it? That's how old I'm going to be. How did that come about?
Honestly, I was just thinking about it, and it was like 17 would just be an awesome number to win, or awesome win World Strongest Man. So I want to go to the Strongman Games at 15, Giants Live at 16, then Worlds at 17.
Wow.
He's already got the map.
He's got it
laid
mapped out.
That's it. That's exact. A man with a plan. A man with a plan. It's absolutely possible when you map your stuff out. You got that nailed down. Yep. So, how's it going to feel showing up one day when you're still in high school, getting out of your car, walking down the hall when you're the world's strongest man champion? What's that going to be like?
I feel like a lot of people aren't going to know, but I feel like the people that do know, they're gonna be they're gonna think it's
something tells me that if you're the world's strongest man in high school, that everybody in your school is going to know.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the city of Phoenix will know.
Yeah. I was just being conservative, just letting you know when you show up to school, they're probably going to have a band outside playing for you, something like that. So do you play any other sports, or is it just straight up strength athletics?
I used to play football and basketball, but now I'm just strongman.
When did you stop playing football and basketball?
Started playing football and basketball when I was 6. I was 9 when I stopped playing.
So it's just literally you're saying, look, you know what you want. We're going to put all our effort into this goal. I love it. That's the way to do it. Specialized. That's it. That's really good. I got to tell you, I'm still sitting here kind of blown away in a good way that I'm talking to an 11-year-old who's the national champion of the teens, but he's not even a teen yet. That's pretty amazing. Is that sunk in? Is that sunk into you?
Yeah, but I took that show as basically just another training day, and also that nobody was gonna touch me.
I love it. Jerry, let me ask you a question, bro. When he goes to sleep at night, do you sneak into his room and kind of start talking and telling things that subliminal programming him?
The kid's confidence is something else at 11. Yeah, I mean, there are too many, or if any other 11-year-olds you would throw in any competition that wouldn't be nervous or something. Yeah. And watching him Saturday, he competed like a seasoned vet. I don't think he even understands how well he attacked that, and we all know that's something that's hard. That's almost impossible to teach. Game day, hard to teach. Mm-hmm. You can teach training and work ethic and all your crazy, workout plans and pyramid this and whatever. But if you can't perform game day and don't know how to, turn it up, all else doesn't matter. And that's very hard to teach. I mean, I've watched guys for years from powerlifting, strongman, and their guts are eating them up from their nerves and everything. They can't eat breakfast in the morning, and he wasn't phased at all. He walked in there like he'd already won that thing, and all in his own head. So that's something you can't.
Just like you said, he treated it like another training day.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
No, he really walked in there like, the only question is who's going to run second to me.
Wow.
Oh, that's absolutely great.
And we all know, I mean, to do the sport, do it well, you got to have that little bit of arrogance going in there that nobody can touch me. That's just part of it. It's a mental game.
Yeah. So Bubba, who's your favorite guy in the top of the sport right in the current time?
Besides my dad, it would still be Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who's the second favorite?
Luke Stoltman.
Okay. You like the big boys. Yeah. Wait. What do you think, Jerry? How tall do you think he's going to be?
At his 2-year checkup where they do the projected height, they said like 6'6", 6'7".
Wow.
Don't be surprised. He's definitely bigger than I was at that age, and just not even height wise, just all around bigger. Just his bones, his knees, he's just all around bigger. I think he'll get pretty damn close to that.
We had Dr. Baker on the show, and he was
strong man. His height,
Yeah. We had a guy, Dr. Baker, on the show, and he was talking about I can't remember the name of it. God, I guess it was a group of men. It was like, I don't want to say a tribe, but they basically they were huge, and all they did was go around and kill these big animals and just ate flesh, and they were all 6'8" and above. Do you remember that? You remember him talking about that, Nick and Ock? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. I'm trying to remember the name of the tribe he called it.
Yeah, was it a tribe? Okay, because I was sitting there trying
to
remember. Yeah. But what he was saying was, because these people have been eating flesh most of their lives, it made them this superior, call it species, whatever you want to call it. So it sounds like Bubba's right on his way there. The way that you're feeding him, he's been eating the way that this tribe's been eating, and supposedly there's not somebody. The shortest one of that tribe is like 6'6". A lot of them are 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah,
and they're not basketball looking dudes. They're big, gnarly human beings. So it wouldn't surprise me if he goes way past what he's projected. Because they're doing these projections off what most Americans do, not what he's doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
So Bubba, why is back to current competitors? Why is Shaw your favorite?
Honestly, I used to, when I would get home to school, he would post probably every day, and I would sit there before training, watch his video, and then go out and train. And then every day I would do that, and then I thought wow, he's 4-time world strongest man, really.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good act to follow, no question about it.
Yeah.
So,
and he's successful in a lot of areas too. He's not just successful in strongman. He's a hardworking man all of the time. What's that?
Turned strongman into a business. Really.
Yes, he did. Very much so.
Absolutely. So, Bubba, it sounds like you train just about every day. What is your training schedule?
So we start off the week with Monday deadlifts. Then Tuesday, shoulder day, basically upper body day, and then Wednesday is squats and leg day, and then Thursday is makeup day and bench day. And then Saturdays are big event day.
And Saturday a day where you put how many hours do you put in that day? Is that a long day, big day?
Yeah, it's 6 hours.
Oh wow!
And then when he was training for Worlds, we would add an extra day, and it was like we had like one break day, and that was Sunday, and then we'd start the week over.
Yeah, you need those rest days. You need those rest days. I spent, it's training is a lot of fun, but as you get older, I'm sure your dad will teach you. You got to find that balance. Training too much can actually be harmful, in terms of the progression.
Only problem with worlds is you don't get the 12 events you're going to see there. You get 27 events you might see there.
Yeah,
true.
Touch everything, and it's just you got to add more time.
Yeah.
It beats the hell out of you, but you got to add more time to just so you at least touch everything before you start narrowing the list.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, Bubba, this is we've done a lot of shows, and this is for me, this is my favorite so far. This has been really, really cool talking to you. I'm still, again, still can't believe you're only 11 years old and you've already accomplished what you've accomplished. Not only in strongman, but powerlifting too. You've done 6 powerlifting meets, a handful of strongman competitions, but more importantly, you're a national champion. How does that feel? Does that feel good to say I'm a national champion?
Yeah, especially like how hard like I worked like for that show.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your kids at school? What do they say now that you're a national champion? They must be even more of their favorites now, huh?
I won on a summer break, so they don't really know. But plus except the few that follow me.
So you just finished up 6th grade. How much bigger are you in terms of just the average classmate that you have? Are you just like head and shoulders above? There are some other big kids too, or what is it like?
There's one kid that's taller than me. That's it. And then the rest are just like here or shorter.
He's spot in the line.
Do any of your classmates or friends, do any of them lift weights at all?
No.
That just shows you, brother, you are out of the gate so early and you are so ahead of the game. All you got to do is keep doing what you're doing. I'm a believer, brother. I'm a believer. Big time. You're getting the job done. Really, really cool. Jerry, you got to be like one over the top proud papa right now, huh?
Yeah, he's doing great. Like I said, it's on him. So
Yeah,
it's impressive.
That's got to make it even better.
Yeah. Guide him. I always told him, you get out of this what you put in it. So if you're not putting in the work, you're not going to get the result. And I told him you're not going to go do these competitions either if you're not putting in the work. I'm not going to just go just to go. You got
Yeah.
So
Smart.
he knows that.
And that's a fantastic life lesson too, because that's how life is.
It is.
You get out of it what you put into it. So it's brilliant teaching.
Nothing. You got to work for it. Nothing's given to you. You got to work for it.
Yeah. So, Bubba, what piece of advice would you give to some other, another kid that's, 10, 11, 12, even the teenagers? What advice would you give them about training?
Learn the technique first.
Damn it, he's good. He's good. I love it. That's exactly the case, because if you learn the technique, you're not going to hurt yourself. Then you're getting better.
Be patient. Doesn't happen overnight. Be patient.
Yeah.
The biggest, problem with some of this generation is everything wants immediate satisfaction. I've been working for 2 months.
Instant gratification. Yeah.
It takes a lot more than 2 months.
Yeah.
Years and years of work. And that's one thing I think the generation falls short on is hard work. So,
Yeah.
But both him and his sister know that. You got to work hard. You want to get things you want. You got to work hard.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? There's no free lunch.
Nope.
No free lunches. So, Bubba Kirby, I know you already told me. You said you started weight training at 5. Was that correct? So you've been actually training for 6 years. That's 6 years. And how many of that have
Wow.
been? How many of those years have strongman implements been part of the equation?
All of them.
Oh my God.
I did like different, like, because of like watching Worlds, like probably like at 3, I was doing like, I had my little cars and toys set up, and I did like a medley, and Dad made me like a little like log, and like I was doing that, and but at 5, when I seriously started training, learning the actual technique and stuff, the first thing I touched was like a log, because he made my blue log, and then I've basically been doing that, and then doing different things, like of him making me different equipment, like, because some of the equipment was just too for me, so he'd make me different equipment, and yeah.
His first couple of years were primarily just he trained on strongman days. He would just do strongman implements, and then probably about 8 or 9, he's been with us every day we train. Where he does, all regular, weightlifting, powers and stuff we do during the week, and then strongman on Saturdays.
Okay.
But that's when he really started to kind of, increase, when he started getting full training in and getting all the accessories and everything else in.
Yeah, made a big jump from there. Yeah.
So you're
That's
talking
good.
about you've got more strongman experience training wise than a good chunk of adults competitors out there right now. Then especially in the amateur world, people, there are so many competitors out there, and they go to compete and they've had a year or maybe 2 experience. You've got 5 years of experience under your belt with an extremely good coach and mentor. I can only imagine where this is going to go.
Kind of funny, we're at a competition or somebody new pops in the gym or whatever, if he sees something, he'll say, well, it's funny, someone, like an 11-year-old approaching them about their technique or equipment or something like that they're doing wrong. They're like, but he knows what he's talking about. He's been in the gym for a long time. He's, like I said, he's been around, longer than a lot of your amateurs that are competing right now, and then he's been a good crew of guys that, we're all established, been to competition, so he knows, and he studies strongman. So if he tells someone, you're doing this or that, and they kind of look like, what's this kid talking about? Well, probably listen to it. He knows more than you do.
Yeah.
True.
And that's the amazing part. Not only does he put in the work with the training, the diet, he studies it.
Yeah.
That's a whole different level of when you start to study a craft, you're in a whole different level of progression in terms of moving forward, because it's not just what you're doing. You're the studies and watching others. You get so much better when you put all that together.
Oh,
so,
we'll be in the gym and he'll say to me or one of the guys, and we're like, hey, I saw Brian doing this, or Luke doing this, or hey, Nick was doing this, and Tom was doing this, and Kevin was, he's watched everybody, not only old stuff but new stuff, so he's rattling off, they're training this or that, and because he's watched all of it, and he's asking guys, did you see this? They're like, no. He's like, hit this, because he's watched all of it and paid attention to it, studied it, not just mindless, just watched it. He's absorbed, sponge for all of it. He absorbs all of it. So if he sees a Nick doing a lift, he's absorbing everything you're seeing there. So, pretty impressive.
I mean, when you immerse yourself in something, which is what he's done, it's all different levels. The studying, and you totally immersed. The ability to get better is so much better than someone that just kind of trains and eats and does it. But when he's basically living strongman, eating it, drinking it. You dream about it too, Bubba?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I think we've got a future world's strongest man in our hand here. This is going to be really fun to watch, brother. Really fun to watch. Well, Bubba, we've taken about an hour of your time, and I got to tell you, we're all very thankful that you took the time out of your training schedule to come talk to us. Really, really exciting. And like I said, we're going to definitely have you come back because this is going to be, hell, I'm going to just have fun watching your career develop, you know, and be able to talk to you. Just remember, all of us little guys, when you're at the top of the food chain, you know, we were here to support you at the beginning. Don't forget about it.
we got to put this as a thumbnail for first interview for a future superstar in strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we can retitle that. Isn't a future. He's already a super. He's 11 years old. He just won the teen national championship. I don't know what else. He's is already a star. How else you can't spell that any other way, you know? That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Bubba. Well, do you have anything that you'd like to say before we wrap things up, Bubba?
Not really. Follow me. Bubba Pritchett Strongman, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's perfect. Why don't you tell everybody? Because listen, we're going to be we want to help promote you in a way we can. So, do you have your own Instagram account?
Yep.
Yeah.
What is that? Tell everybody what that is.
About the
No, I'm sorry. Your handle. How do we find you?
Oh, Bubba Pritchett Strongman.
There we go. That's very easy. Very easy to. We'll get perfect. So, and then we obviously got the YouTube channel too. Well, brother, keep up the good work. Like I said, I'm just excited I got to talk to you today. National champion, teen national champion, but not even a teen yet. Doesn't get any better than that. Well, Nick and Ock, do you have anything else for this fine young gentleman before we wrap it up?
No, man, it's been a pleasure, and I'm just so happy and excited to see what the future holds for you. And I know you're going to do amazing things. So just continue with your hard work, and the sky's the limit, man.
I agree. Sky's the limit. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep listening to your dad. And we look forward to watching everything that you do in the future.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? And just remember, brother, we are all big supporters of your career. So any way we can help you out, we're here for you. I know you got a great support group already, but just know that the work you've put in is already extremely inspiring, even to the adults that are watching you. So keep up the good work. At this point, like I said, I'm just still blown away that you're 11. You just won the teen national championship, brother. So keep up the good work. And that being said, I'll tell you, everyone, you know, we bring on some really, really inspiring guests, but I don't know how you can get more inspired than listen to this episode with Bubba Pritchett, 11 years old, winning the teen national championship. He was not even a teenager, and he still went and put a whoop on everybody. So that being said, if this doesn't get you out of your chair to go to the gym or do something productive, I don't know what the hell will ever do it. So that being said, thank you for watching. Bubba, thank you for coming. Jerry, thank you as well.
Thank you, guys.
That's it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Legends of Iron is brought to you by Muscle Mix.
It's time to stop around. You want to build some muscle? You want to build some serious muscle? Well, guess what? Beef builds muscle. RTD, carnivore, ready to drink, lactose free, tastes great. You want to build some muscle? You better start eating some beef.
Beef up with Carnivore RTD. 40 grams of protein, 0 fat, 0 sugar, 0 lactose. What the are you waiting for? Get yours today.